Welcome to Stretch and Mobility. This is a 25 to 30 minute class working on mobility, stretching, and getting everything feeling loose and mobile. So this is about using your body to its maximum range of movement and helping to develop that. So if you feel at any time there's a move or a position that's not quite right for you, there will be options to go a little easier or a little harder, but I want you to keep going, keep progressing, and keep practicing all of these moves. We're going to start standing, we're going to then come down to the floor, so if you've got a mat, that'll be a little bit more comfortable on your knees. We're going to spend a bit of time down there on our front, but we're going to start standing. This is a follow along session, so I'm doing it with you. We're going to go for 25, 30 minutes and feel good at the end. So, find your space, stand yourself up, feet close together, and we'll do some nice easy shoulder rolls. So this is slow and steady, mobilizing upper body, nice and easy on the joints. So we're trying to lift and roll. You can take some breath as we do this. It's not yoga practice, we're not doing strict yoga moves, but there will be something that you recognize if you've done yoga before. There'll be some elements of that. Let's change to roll forward. So we're lifting and rolling. Look at that movement. We're trying to create big circles. So this is all about you and your mobility. We want to make sure we're working through that full range of motion, but just taking our time to get there. So as we go backwards this time, bring the arms up high, circle back. Nice big circle of the arms. So we're reaching high, reaching wide, circling back as far as you can. So start to really feel the shoulders waking up and mobilizing. Again, you're in control, so anytime you need to come back a level, you can come back a level. Let's change the direction of that, so we're reaching back, up and over. Big circles. So we're going to do lots of movement to start with for the first 10 minutes or so, and then there will be some holding stretches towards the end. One more of those. If those arms are a little shake out, step your feet a little bit wider. I'm just going to twist the torso, but let the foot turn as well. So we're rotating through the middle and the back, through the lower back, but letting your foot turn so we get a nice little motion through the hips as well. So movement and warmth in the joints, warm the muscles up and then give them a little bit of a stretch. You can do this session straight after a workout, you can do it as its own nice little lower intensity workout. A couple more of these, nice and steady. One more each side. And then we'll take some little hip circles. So feet are grounded, pushing the hips, nice big circles around. Just feel the lower back of the hips just warming up, nice and easy. Back the other way. Simple circles. Okay, we're going to do some little hip openers. So we lift and open one side. We'll stick with the same side. So we're lifting and opening the knee, engaging the glutes to make that movement happen. And just feeling that into your hip flexors, onto your muscles in the legs there at the top of the thigh. One more this side. Hang on to something if you need to for this. Change legs. Big circles around, so we're lifting and rolling, nice and controlled. One more. Alright, shake those legs. This is where you need a little bit of space. We're going to be coming up nice and high with our arms, folding forwards. Now if you need to bend the knees to fold forwards, that's fine. We'll bring your hands all the way to the floor. We're going to walk out and then lower yourself down. If you need to go to the knees here, do so. Lower yourself down, gently arching the back. One way, and then pushing back to a downward dog from yoga here. We're not there for long, we're going to walk our hands in. Again, bending the knees as much as you need to come back into that fold and stand. So let's do that again. We lift high. We fold down nice and deeply. We walk our hands out. If you can stay on the toes, if you're strong enough, then you come right down to the floor on your toes. And then we arch the back and push that a little bit further into a cobra position from yoga, then pushing back to downward dog from yoga, but then walking your hands all the way back in. So we're making it nice and active. If you've done yoga, it's like a sun salutation variation here. But for us, we're looking for a fold. So stretch out the hamstrings and the lower back, and then walk those hands out to work the shoulders. Lower down so we get chest and triceps engaging. Shoulders back, chest up, push through into the ground so really to feel that nice stretch through the back. And then lifting the tailbone as you push back. So just get a feel for the flow. Now if you're not completely in time with me, don't worry. It's a follow along class where I'm doing it with you. But you're in control of how many you do, how fast you go, just take your time. Fold with me if you can and walk out. Lower down with me nice and steadily, and then arch the back, lift the chest and torso. Push back, hands come back to feet. unfold. We're going to do one more of those, coming all the way back up to here as well. So fold down low, walk out nice and slowly, control on the way down on knees or toes, torso lifted, and then push back all the way up. Slowly unfold. Okay, that's your final one of those, that we're going back into our downward dog position now. So come down with me. Walk your hands out until we reach that downward dog position whereby a tailbone is lifted, we're pushing the chest towards the thighs. And I want you now to be active by marching one heel down at a time. So we do one heel up, one heel down. So we're trying to lift the tailbone high, we're trying to drop the chest and look to our shins. And we're marching our feet. Heel down, heel up, keep changing legs so you start to feel your hamstrings and your calves really warming up and taking a little bit of a stretch. But it's active, we're not holding that still. You will feel it in your arms a little bit, you will feel your stretching through the chest and through the shoulders by pushing the ground here. But just keep those legs marching for now. And now we're going to hold our first little stretch here, holding still, pushing both heels towards the ground. If it feels uncomfortable anytime you come out onto your knees and have a little rest. If you can, you can come with me. We're going to sink down with our bum towards the heels, the knees towards the floor, but let them hover. From there, we're going to come back up into a press-up position. So have a look again. If you're not sure, we drop back, bum towards heels, knees hover, and then forwards into a press-up position. So I'm challenging the shoulder movement. We're challenging your knee bend. So depending on how far you can bend those knees, how much mobility you have, your bum will be coming closer to your heels. Pushing back and forwards. Okay, this time we're going to take our right foot. We're going to step it outside the right hand. So from this knee bend position, shoot forwards, right foot outside the right hand. Now if you didn't get there and it's about here somewhere, just give it a little lift and hold. Whilst your right foot is forwards, I want you to twist and lift your right hand. So the back leg's nice and straight off the floor. Touch down. We're going to go back and use that momentum. Bend the knees, left foot shoots forwards outside the left hand. Lift your left hand. Back leg is off the floor, knees lifted. Touch down, step back, momentum, bend the knees, right foot steps outside the right hand. Lift and twist. Again, if you're not here with the timing with me, don't worry, just get a feel for the movement. And touch down. I'm going to turn a bit so you can see what the knees are doing at the back. Your left foot goes here, so the back leg is nice and straight, look, lifted off the floor. Left hand nice and high. Touching down. Keep going with these. Take your time to get that position right. But it's active, we're not holding that stretch for long. We're lifting, we're twisting, squeezing the upper back together. Touching down, sink back, bend the knees. Left foot outside left hand. Super stuff, we're starting to feel everything feeling warm. One more each side of the right leg. Lift and twist. Touch down, last time with your left side. Touch down. As we come back this time, just sit your knees all the way to the floor. Bum towards heels, sit right down into a child's pose. We're going to come back here a little later. But for now, I want you to rise up on your knees and step your right foot forwards. So we're going for a nice deep stretch here, and we're going to develop this. First thing we're going to do is a little more mobility, so the knee is going to come forwards over the toe if you can, and then we're going to lean forwards as the leg straightens, so you get your hamstring stretching. So it's the knee bend forwards, so stretch out the hip flexor in this back leg, the knee comes forward, the leg straightens, the toes can lift, and we tip forwards. So we're getting a nice big hip flexor, quad and glute activity, and then really start to stretching the hamstrings, we lean forwards. Now if you find that too hard, you can hold on to something, you can take a little support. Particularly if you come back this way, you might feel you need to lean on something with your hands rather than leaning on your leg. Okay, but if you don't need it, just forwards and back. Keep it active for now, we've got time to stretch in a while. We should start to feel everything. Mobilizing, feeling good. Hips, hamstrings. Nice deep breaths. You will feel you're doing a little bit of work here. Now the lower you can go, the better, so keep going now. We drop in, Deep here. And deep here. One more like this, and then we're going to hold it into a little stretch. Okay, come up to your lunge again and hold. So we're going to sink in now, nice and deep in that front knee. I'm going to lift up, so your right foot is forwards, we're going to move down with your right hand. We're going to lift up with your left hand and do a little side bend. As we do this, you'll feel the side body stretch right down into your hip flexor there at the back. So breathe and lean. If you feel you can exhale and sink a little deeper, do so. And lean that bit further. Now keep the knee bend, undo the fold, and turn it into a twist. So you're looking back over your right shoulder if your right foot is forwards. Use your hand as a little lever and look back that little further. Gently release. Now this front leg is going to straighten. You can point the toe, I'm going to lean forwards. Now I don't want you to sit down on the bum here. I don't want you to go right down there. I want you to stay up tall and lean forwards. So think about your chest going forwards rather than your head dropping down. That's why you can hold on to something if you need to. If not, just lean into it. As you lean, we're creating that big stretch through the hamstring there. If you can reach the floor and touch your fingers for support, that's great, or hold on to something. But think about forwards with the chest. Then you can go that little bit deeper, thinking about chest towards thigh once you've leant forwards. Find your level. This is a deep hamstring stretch, so you can breathe. And we can go that little bit further when you're ready. Sinking in nice and strong with that hamstring. If you pull the toe towards you, you're going to feel that more in your calf and behind the knee. So that's an additional little add-on if you want to. Otherwise, just keep pointing the toe forward and sinking in. Gently release. Alright, let's change legs. So knee down, foot forwards. And we go active again. So we're bending, and we're coming back and leaning. And again, bending forwards, back and leaning in. So we start to feel the other leg working hard, but still a little hip flexor stretch on this side. So nice and controlled. Nice deep breathing as you do it. So again, we're leaning forwards with the chest rather than down. We're sinking in deep with that hip flexor stretch and glute activity. One side might feel a little tighter than the other, but let's just give it as much care and attention as the first one. Take your time, nice and easy to find your range. Again, if you're not quite with your timing, that's cool. We're just getting through the motions, through these moves, nice and steadily. Okay, one more. And then we're going to come forwards and hold. So we're going to come here and hold. We're not going as deep as we can, we're still on the knee just over the toe a little bit. And then we come tall and we're leaning, so left foot is forward, left hand goes down, right hand reaches up and over, so we really get that stretch out to the side of the body. Down into the hip flexor and hold. Breathe. Undo the fold, turn it into the twist. So we look back over the left shoulder. Use your hand as a little lever to pull on the knee gently. Nice deep breaths. Gently release. And we're going to straighten that leg. Lean towards it. Chest comes forwards. Fingertips touch the floor, or hold on to something if you need to. Remember, we're not sitting down on that bum back here. We're staying tall and leaning to really get that hamstring stretch. If you feel tight, that's fine, you can stay there, you can come back a little bit. If you feel good, we can lean, then we can sink in that little bit more. It's about you and your stretch, find your level. If you want to bring the toe in gently, it's going to be calf and a little bit behind the knee. Just breathe and sink into it. Gently release, bend the knee. Bring it back to the child's pose we were in where our knees are apart, feet are closer together. We sit all the way back and we're going to creep our hands out here. So with this, I want you to have your hands on the floor, I want you to have the elbows and the forearms lifted. So we're going to creep our fingers away whilst keeping our bums close to our heels as you can. Now, if you find this too hard with knee and hip mobility, you can bring your hands elevated onto something. So whatever height you've got, something near you, a chair or a sofa or something like that, just bring your hands up onto it, sink in there. You might find a better stretch through your chest and shoulders. You might find it easier if your hips and knees don't allow it. If you can do, we're going to go straight to the floor. We're going to reach out with our fingers, and we're going to sink in nice and low and breathe. So find a comfortable position for your knees and for your feet. From here, we're going to lift our right hand. As we lift the right hand, bring it back parallel with the body to the side. We lift high, so the hand goes vertical, the arm goes vertical. We're twisting through the torso, we're keeping the bum down towards those heels. It's a big stretch for your thoracic spine, the torso, mid-back. Changing sides. So bring the arm round, lift it so it's vertical if you can. Down. Let's do one more of those each side. And then switch sides final time. Back to the middle. We're going to do an assisted stretch where you help yourself now. We're going to turn your left palm to face up. We're going to lace the fingers. What I'm trying to do here now is pull this left arm back like this. I'm going to resist it with the right hand. So straighten the arms, actively pull your left arm back towards you, but force your right hand into it so it doesn't move. So create the tension through the left side. There's a twist in the torso, and we're pulling that left hand and forcing against it. You'll feel as if you're hanging on one arm here. It's going to feel like a big stretch for your lats on that left side. And gently release. Let's do that the other way. So right palm faces up, lace the fingers. We're attempting to pull the whole arm back here underneath. So pull with your right hand, resist it with the left. Imagine you're hanging on that right hand on something. You're going to feel that really stretching out through your mid-back and behind the shoulder. Gently release. From here, keep your knees where they are, or bring them in slightly closer. Let your arms come down to your sides now, palms facing up. And let your head drop all the way to the floor, and let your shoulders round to relax that upper back. Just take a few breaths there and relax into position. Okay, gently release. Come up onto your knees, on your hands, up to your feet, walking your hands to your feet as before. We're going to step our feet nice and wide. We're going to stay in a deep fold here for hamstrings. Now, a deep fold for you will be wherever you can get to. So feet are wide. We're going to lean forwards and then fold forwards and just let your body hang. Fold your arms, let your head drop. You go as far as you feel you can, and just tip a little weight forward so you're into the balls of your feet. If you feel you can lift the tailbone and drop further, then drop further. From here, we're now going to turn our body to one leg. So I'm turning over towards my left leg. If you can hold the thigh or behind the knee or towards your calf, and pull your body in towards that leg. So you see I'm turning the body, so the focal point is now on that left hamstring and glute. Calf, or pulling the body in. Again, you might be up here, that's fine, but pulling yourself across, you still should feel the focus on that left side. Gently release, come up a little, and then we go the other way. So we fold and turn the focus to the right leg, so twisting your body towards so you can look behind you. Whatever level you're at, whichever height, as long as you're finding a stretch and feeling a stretch, let's just breathe and hold. Gently release. Little knee bend as you rise, bring the legs in, give them a little shake. Now you might need to hold on to something for this, it's up to you. We're going to take one foot behind, take hold, and make sure we're nice and tall. Knees are parallel, so we're not out to the side, and we're not too far forwards. We're nice and tall here, so I need to hold on as well this morning. Okay, nice and tall with the body. Engage your core so we're balanced. Foot away from your bum a little bit, and I want you to push your foot into your hand. Stay tall, so we're pushing. A little activation of the quads there. By pushing into your hand, keep pushing, and then gently release. Once you've released, pull your bum toward your heel towards your bum a little more and push your hips forwards. So we're no longer pushing now, we're pulling on the foot. Let's do that once more. So push your foot into your hand, and then gently release. Push the hips forwards, pull the foot towards your bum. And relax. You feel that big stretch through the quad there as we pull once we've done that push. So knees are close together. Push that foot into your hand. So you're really pushing down but holding the tension. So we're getting tension through your quadricep. Gently release. Pull the bum towards the heel towards the bum again, and push the hips forwards. Okay, one more. Push your foot into your hand. Gently release. Pull the foot to the bum. Hips forward. Gently release. So give the legs a little shake out. Okay, big hip openers again, like we did at the beginning. This time alternating, so we're lifting and rolling, and it's active again. So we've stretched, we've mobilised. We're just now loosening everything that feels like it's done a little bit of a workout, as well as a stretch. Hip circles again, like we began with. Back the other way. Okay, give the legs a little shake out. Let's come back to the top, so shoulders rolling. Deep breaths. Forwards with the shoulders. And then up with the arms, lift high, breathe in. Open your arms really wide, stretch them back. Do one more backwards like that, lift up high. Circle them back. Let's do the other way, so lift back as wide as you can. Up overhead. One more of those, lift wide. Up and overhead. Relax the arms, keep a little shake out here. Okay, we're going to tilt the neck nice and steadily, so we're dropping head, ear towards shoulder. Try not to lift the shoulder up. Ear towards shoulder. Gently release. And change to the side. Ear towards shoulder. Gently release. Then a little turn of the head, go over one shoulder. Back to the centre. And the other way. And gently relax. So you should feel stretched, you should feel mobile, you should feel good. Add this into your workouts, do it as its own thing once a week. Let me know how you get on.